Hot. Hot today, right? Oh my God. Yes. Bring the heat. Hurry up. Yes, we don't have a booth this year. We are free-balling it by walking around. Just walking around and talking to people.
Yeah. Back up, bro. But that, I know she started off
I did. Well, and here's the thing. I have, like, very limited ass because I am a tall, skinny white girl. But Kat is blessed with a big booty. She got a J-Lo booty. So I'm trying to teach her how to twerk. So I'm like, I think you might be able to rule the world with that butt. But you gotta twerk it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you gotta, like, pretend like there's a pencil on the small of your back. So you kind of, like, gotta get into a squat position, hands on the knees. This is when you're first starting out, and then you can graduate to one-legged. But, hands on the knees, and then you want to make sure you gotta move just the booty to make sure that pencil ain't gonna fall off and hit the floor. That's how you do it.
All right. And there'll be an instructional video on us.
Yeah, I have a video of me doing it, but like I said, mine doesn't look as good. That's why I gotta teach Kat how to do it, cause hers will look a whole lot better because she's got more booty to shake. I got very limited booty, y'all.
Kat could be the first podcast.
Yeah, the official twerker of Reality Redemption Podcast.
Okay. All right, so shall we, like, see?
We're gonna hit the streets, folks.
Okay.
Hitting the streets.
All right. Hi, how you doing?
Oh, yeah, down.
Hi, I'm doing well.
Hey, and who are you?
I'm Susan Campbell with Mohave Mental Health.
Yeah, and what brings you to Pride this year?
Well, obviously, Mohave Mental Health brings me here to have a booth here to share information. But I'm also trying to promote our event that we have coming up in September. It's a suicide prevention and awareness walk that will be right here at Metcalf Park. It's on Tuesday, September 23rd from 4 to 8. And we will have music, we'll have raffles, we'll have a walk. Not a race, just a walk. Walk down, it's about a mile, there and back. If you get too tired, just turn around and come back. We have a lot of festivities that will be happening here. We'll have food vendors, just a ton of things. We are still working out all the details. Right now I have the save the date flyers, but there'll be some actual flyers coming out very soon.
Yeah, that's a great cause. We've done this podcast. We're going on 5 years now. So it's a subject that's really close to us and that's affected all of us.
Yes.
And,
Had a few friends.
Family members, you know, and it's such a tragedy. Like, people don't realize, you know, how important they are.
I know.
And, you know, that we need all of us, you know, especially all these people here, you know.
Absolutely.
And they, you know, they might feel not as accepting, maybe even more in this type of community around here.
Very true.
You know, it's very important work that you do. And we really appreciate everything that you do over there.
Well, it's near and dear to my heart as well. I lost a son to suicide back in 2011. So I've just been on that bandwagon to prevent it, get awareness out there, let people know what's going on, and to try to let them know that, you know, it's okay. We want you to stay.
Does that make it extra
Sorry
hard?
for your loss.
That, you know, family member, like, that's gotta be really hard to do because I've lost people really close to me.
Yeah, I mean, initially very hard. But this was a long time ago, and I found, okay, I could turn to drugs and alcohol to numb my pain, or I could try to do something about it. And I chose to do something about it.
To help other people.
I want to get out there. I run a grief group, so I get out there to help people who have lost a loved one to suicide. That helps me as well. And, you know, just want to get the word out there, get, you know, prevention. Know that you're not alone. You do matter.
Right, and that's really important to get the word out, and raise awareness for it.
Yeah, 'cause that's one thing about suicide too is, all the people who are left behind that then deal with it. And I think it's really important that you run a grief group.
Yes, because we don't want those people who are left behind to also choose to complete suicide.
Right.
You know, we want them to know that they're important. We want to help them to grieve healthy.
It probably also helps them to like get maybe some sort of answer. I mean, you'll probably never have the exact answers, but like at least if you talk to other people, you're there's other people going through the same thing, and maybe it makes it a little less painful.
Yeah, I think it helps knowing that you're not the only person this has ever happened to.
Right.
Know that like if they see me, they can realize, okay, she lost her son, but look where she is now. She's out there. She's helping. She didn't just crawl into a hole and say, well, my son's dead. I might as well be dead too.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, because
it shows strength.
That is
really.
That is important too. That even though we all get into those places where we feel that feel like we want to do that, but we realize, hey, I've got all these people around me that care about me, but something that we don't talk about is people left behind and how much it affects them. I know I'm scarred from it.
Yeah, and it does, and at any level. I even had a little girl today walk through, and I was saying about this, and she said, well, what's suicide? And I said, oh, honey, it's when someone that you love very much is very, very sad, and they don't know how to deal with the pain, so they end their life. I said, but we just need to let them know before it happens that we love them and we care about them.
Right.
And she's like, okay, she's probably about 8 and she skipped along her way.
But yeah, I mean,
and it is, that's all.
That was a good way of explaining it to her though,
and that's
to an 8-year-old.
And that's how I had to resolve, to my son. He was in so much internal pain that the only way he could see to deal with it was to end his life. I did not know this until it was too late, but
you never really did. You never really see it coming.
I mean,
hindsight, then I was like, oh, if I would have known, I would have done this, I would have done that.
But at the same time, you can't beat yourself up about that.
Yeah.
No, you can't. And that's why I try to help other people. These are signs. And just even if you don't know if somebody's suicidal, just be a friend.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, I'm here. Do you need to talk?
Right.
And talk to them.
I mean, Snow and I have been friends for going on, I think, over 10 years now.
Yeah.
Well over 10,
And whenever we're feeling something down, we've got each other to talk to. And,
I hear it takes about 8 minutes to save somebody's life. So if they're, feeling down or suicidal or whatever, but if you just have 8 minutes to spare, I mean, I'd take 8 minutes to talk to anybody.
A stranger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll spend hours on the phone with each other, talk to each other down.
Well, or sometimes you see that person just standing there looking over the bridge. Are they going to jump? What are they doing? Maybe they're waiting for somebody to talk to them. Maybe just say, hey man, what's up?
Right. Did you see that like last year in Nashville? Like John Bon Jovi did that. He saw somebody on the bridge and stepped over and he just went up and said, hey,
you need a hug? Somebody's life.
Yeah, exactly. And that's might be all they need. I know there's I can't think of his name, but he jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge and he lived. But he said he was just waiting for somebody to come and say something to him and he wouldn't have jumped. Luckily he survived. It wasn't without a lot of issues, but
but
that was it. He was just, and that kind of gives me insight into it. Maybe my son was just waiting for somebody to talk to him.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important. I try to do that with my kids.
You don't necessarily reach out. So it's just, be that annoying parent, I guess, and just be like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
What you doing? How you doing today? How's your friends?
How you feeling?
Maybe they'll tell you, maybe they won't. But
sometimes get wrapped up in so much in your own life that you just don't.
You do.
Think about it.
Yeah, a lot of times, like, one of my favorite bands is NoFX, and they wrote a song about it called Brain Constipation, because it's almost like the brain gets stuck.
Yeah.
And it's like if it could just work through the problems, then it wouldn't end so devastatingly. Yeah.
Definitely.
Well,
Yeah.
So
thank you. One more time. When's the event?
the event is Tuesday, September 23rd from 4 to 8 right here at Metcalf Park in Kingman, Arizona.
Okay, yep. Please come out. And I think we'll definitely be here for that.
Oh, I'll definitely be here.
And again, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Absolutely.
And thank you for all the work that you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
really
folks, too.
important too. Yeah.
You know, it's my mission, I guess.
Good mission.
Well, thank you.
All right.
It was great meeting you.
Thank you. It was great to meet you both.
And we'll come by and we'll exchange some information.
Okay.
And we'll have you on, before.
Oh yeah, you can come on before the event too.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Anytime hit us up. We record about a mile.
Oh, perfect. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just know that was
That was a really good one.
very important.
And now I am super excited.
Yes.
Super
Returning
excited.
to the podcast, Caroline Devine.
Hi guys. Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Good.
We are amazing. Not as amazing as your performance that I just watched.
Snow's comment was, what was it?
I feel like a proud mom. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh my God, I know. You
Like,
did
she
say
did
that.
so good. Even her fall was amazing.
It wasn't planned properly. I was supposed to do a twirl into a death drop and ended up doing a twirl into some weird, I don't know what I'd call that.
I don't know. You shouldn't critique it because everybody loved it anyway.
Oh yeah.
Everybody,
I was
like,
people loved it.
it killed.
It can, the first death drop I did in my first number, I knocked the wind out of myself. Obviously I couldn't make it known because as a performer you have to keep going. But I'll be feeling it tomorrow, which is fine. Cause I get free physical therapy at work, so.
Oh good.
I'll get that figured out Wednesday.
That comes in handy.
Yeah.
So since
I want to, hold on. I want to make a comment on your makeup. I'm like, that looks so amazing. Do you airbrush that?
No, I did everything with a brush and some eyeshadow.
Freehand.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to describe for our listeners. I'm like, she looks like a sexy raven or something. I mean, it's just beautiful. Oh, so much. I love it. I'm jealous. I wish I could do my eye makeup. I suck at eye makeup.
It definitely took a lot of practice. I've been doing it since 2019.
Okay.
So it's taken some time.
Well, you look amazing.
Thank you.
So since we last left you, you've moved to Reno?
I have.
We were sorry to see you go.
I know, but I made the 22-hour bus ride back to perform and be here for my Mohave family.
22 hours in
That
a Greyhound.
It was an experience.
How was
You
that?
deserve an award for that alone.
See, I would rather have flown, but with the Real ID thing, I couldn't. So the first bus smelled like a bathroom.
Ew.
The second bus's AC didn't work, so it was hot in the bus the whole ride to Los Angeles, and we were almost late. I almost missed my transfer bus in Los Angeles. I made it literally by a minute.
Were you running?
No, thankfully, but I'm a gay man, so I walk very fast. It's like Jesus on water, just treads.
Yes.
But yeah, no, and so I got here at 9 o'clock yesterday morning, and I left at 11 o'clock Thursday morning from Reno. It was an experience.
Well, yeah, it makes for a good story. It makes for a good podcast, y'all.
Snow, have you ever been on one of those buses?
Long time ago. I remember the smells once she brought that up. It does smell.
Yeah, cause the bathroom's like a urinal. Or not a urinal, like a
Porta potty?
porta potty.
Yeah.
And so that,
Like in a closet.
it just lingers.
Smaller than an airplane
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. At least in the airplane one, they have sinks.
Yeah.
In the Greyhound, they have a hand sanitizer dispenser that doesn't work.
Right. And like a toilet. That's it.
Yeah. And you never poop on the Greyhound. Never do that.
No.
You don't want to be the
No.
person to stink up the entire bus.
No, that's the rule of tour buses.
You should not.
Don't
Yes,
do
that's
that.
the golden rule.
Yeah.
You wait until you get to that next stop, or you pray to Jesus. Pinch it tight.
Pull together, cheeks.
And so how many times are you performing today?
So I just did my first set, which was 2. I will have one more set at 3 o'clock, which I'll do 2 more songs. And then I will be performing at our adult show tonight, which I have 2 songs for that as well.
Right. I mean, this will be coming out afterwards, but it's at Blackbridge Brewery, just to give them a shout out this year.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm so excited to see your night performance.
Oh, I have
and your other performances as well. But
oh yeah, but that one I can let a little more freak out.
yeah.
So there's some see-through, there's some a little less clothing to hide. So
Yay!
it's definitely going to be
Okay. And your outfit this year, how long did that take to get into?
this. This one thankfully not too long. It just slides on. But I have an outfit that I made that is a little more tight fit, so it takes me a little longer to get in because I can't let it slide my face, or else I will be missing half of Caroline.
Oh yeah. Don't mess up that makeup.
That takes some talent.
Oh yeah. It's a process. It's definitely a process. It takes time. This morning I woke up at 5:30. Didn't go to bed until 1, and I did my makeup when I woke up, got in my hips and everything, and I didn't get here until 8 because the makeup took a little longer.
Yeah. It was worth it though.
Oh yeah.
See that we're totally professional podcasters. I just got hit by a football.
I know, you got nailed with football. That was
I
hilarious.
didn't want to bring it up right away.
Oh, you're flying towards you.
Oh, perfect at a gay event.
I know, right? Would you want anything less? No.
No.
It's probably because I have the Elon hat on.
Oh yeah, they're trying to take you out with that. You shouldn't have worn that here.
Look, what does it say though?
I know it says reality redemption
All
on
right.
it, but it's too close.
I know it's a little
Too
too
close and too
It
soon.
is Elonish.
Yeah.
I had to change my shirt.
Right?
Oh my god.
All right.
Okay, so when did you say you perform again here?
I
This one?
perform at 3 p.m. today.
3 p.m. here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will be the 3rd performer up on stage
Okay.
on our 3 p.m. show.
Okay.
And are you getting involved in any pride groups up in Reno?
I have not yet. We are working on it. I've reached out to the Reno Pride Center, and I've reached out to some of the drag queens out there.
Yeah, don't they have like bars there that
They
you can
do.
perform in and stuff?
They do.
Yeah.
Thankfully,
They need you.
all the bars there though are 21 and up performances.
Oh.
So I won't be able to perform at those until after July.
That's
Okay,
not
feel that.
far.
It's not.
Oh my
And it gives me time
gosh.
to get some outfits in the work.
I'm like,
Yes.
so we've known you for what? Like, is this 3 years
2 or
now?
3 years,
2 or 3
yeah.
years now? No,
Because I talked to you guys the
yeah,
first time back in 2022.
2022, yep.
Yeah.
So that's
I've been on the
3 years.
podcast, I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
You come on all the time.
I know. Oh, yeah. The other thing, your book is out now?
It is.
Okay.
I'm running into some issues with Amazon. Thin Ice was taken off Amazon's store, so I have to go in and figure out what's going on there when I get home.
Why would that be?
It could be a number of things. It could just be that there was a glitch in their system. I have to go in and see if it still says it's live. If it says it's live, then I have to contact them and see what's going on.
What's the name of the book?
It's called Thin Ice. It's a, enemies to lovers smut book for the LGBT.
Oh,
I feel like we
cool.
have enough normal smut. It's time to bring out the gay.
I love it.
So when did you get the
really
idea to
cool.
write a book?
So I've written a couple books. I just never released any of them. And so when I started working on Thin Ice a couple years back, I told myself once I was done, and, you know, depending on how everything
You're
looked on it,
professional.
then I might just kind of release and start going through that. And finally I got to the 6 months before the book was done. I was like, you know what? We're going to finish it. We're going to get it edited. We're going to get the cover made, and we're going to release it and see how it goes.
And what was the other book?
The other book is The Summer Road Trip. That one I wrote kind of as like a filler. I had it archived for a while. Everything was done for it. I had a few touch-ups I had to do. And so I released that one before Thin Ice to just kind of soft release something and get stuff going. And then I released the other one. The Summer Road Trip is two friends that become lovers. It is not a smut book, sadly, but it is 231 pages.
Oh, okay.
It's more like of a coming of age
Yeah.
romance.
That'd be cool,
Two
though.
seniors go on a summer road trip and discover that their feelings for each other go a little deeper than the friendship they have.
How long have you known that you both wanted to write?
I've always written. It's kind of something I use for mental health purposes as well. So like my phone in the notes section, I have over 100 different poems I've written that I could put into a book and release, but some of them are just like, I do. Some of them are very deep and personal. I write based off of my emotions and what I've been feeling that day. So I have some that aren't the best and some that are just beautiful to read.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe think about releasing that as
Yeah.
like a collection type book. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The personal stuff is always the best, you know, because then you realize that it also means stuff to other folks. It's never going to mean what it means to you, but they connect.
It really gives them a perspective into the author and who they are as a person.
Yeah. And it probably helps them with issues they might be facing too.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah. Well, like every year we we really enjoy seeing your progress you make from year to year and how the person that you've become from when we first met you.
Telling you, proud mom over here.
Yeah.
I know. I went from being this little drag queen that did, you know, a very basic makeup to a whole entertainer.
Just killing it out there.
This is the first year I think I've glued down my brows at Pride. I've glued them down, I put on new ones, and slapped on some makeup. She brought out the inner queen.
Woo! We love the inner queen.
Well, as always, it's great talking to you. And we're going to have you on again because we have you on from time to time. Queen Pride.
Yeah, you always get to come on.
Next time I'm in town, I'll let you guys know.
Okay. All right. Well, it's nice seeing you. And go enjoy, and we'll be there rooting for you.
Of course.
Can't
Thank
wait
you.
for your next performance.
Okay. Thank you guys.
All right.
Okay,
See ya.
bye.
Okay, Snow.
Hey, MJ.
It's a little bit abbreviated this year. We're kind of like enjoying the festivities more.
Wait, what?
We're kind of like enjoying the festivities more than we usually do.
Oh, yeah. That's because we don't have a booth and we're like mobile this year. We're walking around.
Yeah.
Well, right now we're sitting. I shouldn't lie. We're sitting. We found a shady spot because today is very hot.
I know. And the podcast has got so big that I have to bring the talent to Snow. Now.
Right.
So we got Sandra from Mohave.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Kinley.
Thank you. It is great to be back.
So how you been?
So, you know what? I've been doing wonderfully. I am in Flagstaff now and just loving it and, ready to start a new Pride season. It's, this world needs hugs more than ever this year.
I know. It's like the news cycle is just horrible. I mean, I don't think I've turned on the news, the actual news, rarely, except for since November.
So, I feel like a bad American, but I can only take my news through Stephen Colbert or Jon Stewart.
Comedy.
That is how I can just get little bits of it because it's just too much.
That's how I prefer it too. I'm like, I need jokes so that I am laughing instead of crying.
We live in a world where we have to microdose the news just to be able to stomach it. There's something going on here that.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't mean that we're not aware of what's going on. It's just, you know.
It doesn't mean that we're not still protesting too, because we are.
Exactly. So, in fact, I hope your listeners will join us at Flagstaff Pride in the Pines because I will be performing this year. I have a 15-minute spot on the community stage, and so I will be doing some original works and a story about a orange dinosaur who tries to take over a preschool. And so I'll be reading a children's story about that. He's a big, fluffy dinosaur with tiny little arms and a tiny little brain, and he just thinks he's the boss of the entire preschool. So yes, I will be performing that live.
So it's like a spoken word.
It is a spoken word.
T-Rex.
It is a yes, like probably a Temu T-Rex, like not an actual T-Rex, but you know.
Not
like
as
an
cool.
Off-brand,
Not as cool as a T-Rex.
Not as cool. So
but yeah, does he Kat had a good question.
So,
does he like tacos?
Chicken tacos?
So, you know, I absolutely love tacos. So I will see. I think that character will give him some redeeming quality. He will really like tacos. So.
I know it would be horrible if the term taco was taken away from us. I mean, you can have deplorable.
And a car alarm.
Let's see, what is the cat woman? What's the other one? The crazy cat ladies, deplorable,
Deplorable.
woke,
Nasty woman.
nasty woman, yes.
Yeah.
So, we really should make a t-shirt with all of the deplorable,
nasty woman and bad hombre.
left, right, wackos. Was that the Easter greeting? Was that
yeah?
Left-wing
lunatics or something like that. That's what we're called
What
too.
is it?
Radicals.
Donald Trump disorder, mental disorder, or whatever thing.
Trump
derangement.
Yeah,
TDS. Why isn't though? Why can't we tell them that they have TDS? They have transgender.
I know. I thought that was an admission that on his part, that's what's going on with him. That's what it sounds like.
No, but in all reality, it's really transgender derangement syndrome because everything you bring up, like, how could you support this guy? And he'll just be like, well,
somebody could have stole that car by now.
We're all just watching it drive by.
When is somebody gonna fix the car alarm? Huh?
It's good for the ambient noise.
Right.
You know, it's interesting, and this is totally neurodivergent. I remember being young, and when you'd study like World War II, and I would always sit and wonder, when you study about how all of that came to pass, and I couldn't wrap my brain around, of course we've got Hitler, sick, had his issues, but the people that just watched it happen, the people that worked there, or the people that was their normal, I could never fathom how their own humanity wouldn't just kick in, that like at a point you just go, this is just wrong. And I'd always been really, really curious about how that happens, how normal people, cause they weren't all monsters, but how does that happen? And I look around and I see the blind loyalty, regardless of facts, regardless of what's happening now, regardless of what is being revealed. I don't question it anymore. And it's terrifying that there are not more people just, and my dad, he voted for Trump the first time. And at the very beginning, my dad wanted that fair shake. He wanted that opportunity to, keep his money and have a retirement. And so some of the things he bought promising difference. And so I get it, but there's a lot of disenfranchised people now that they don't fit in this craziness, this hatefulness.
I mean, that's a good point. Like the crazy, it's like every day is just another crazy story where you sort of get numb to it and you see why people eventually go, whatever, and just not pay attention to it.
Exactly.
And don't realize that things are slowly going away.
And that's a frightening thing is you wonder, okay, we're all just sitting watching. We're all just sitting, okay, how far is this going to go? When do we switch to action? When do we switch to, like what's that next step? And it's frightening, but I have to remember, this is a pendulum and once it swings back and, this craziness, they'll separate themselves. We'll have the group of who we know hate and want
yeah.
And then we have an army of amazing people that say no more, enough.
What I'm hoping is that this time, since I really feel that this time is just so much worse than anything, like just the behavior, like the things that are going on, kidnapping people and sending them to countries they've never gone to with no due process. I mean, stuff that are really against everything that America stands for. I'm hoping that this time when it swings back, I'm hoping it swings back in such a way that people remember this so they don't repeat it and it doesn't then swing back the other way. I'm like, without at least some knowledge of, holy crap, we should never go back to that. I mean, like, are there more people out there that are gonna finally feel that?
You bring up a great point. And I, when we talk about like cancel culture and things like that, I'm on the other side because I don't believe we should be canceling any of that because we need to see and watch our growth and our progress.
Exactly.
And when we see something that, 20 years ago, like I was just listening to an old playlist and the R word and all these things that were just normal vernacular back then. And it really, as I'm growing and evolving and things change, it was like, oh, these really are not okay songs anymore, and we change.
Right.
And I'm really hoping that all of this is we just evolve into, well, we don't have to have a month anymore. We just love. I mean, this is really what it's all about. And
Yeah.
I'm a big believer that at the end of the day, love will always win. And it's an ugly, dark time right now, but it brings more people are waking up to what is happening. And eventually there will be a time where we can't just watch anymore. We've got to just speak up, and not with anger, not with violence, but just saying, there is of both sides. There are amazing people that, just want to keep their family safe and have their schools safe. And that doesn't know a color. And I think that that's gonna.
I will admit for myself, I can't wait till I can get to the more nice and loving place. But right now I am really pissed. I'm like the chicks,
Yeah.
I'm not ready to play nice.
Nice.
I'm still really freaking mad that we had people here that had to get back with the narcissistic ex. I didn't want to, and I'm mad. And unfortunately, some of us have to suffer with the consequences, even though we wanted nothing to do with it,
Is it hard to keep up the positive attitude though? Cause I find it really hard to be like, yeah, this is going to get better.
It is. But I also, my faith is everything is happening for a reason. And even this right now, the bigger picture, I truly believe that we're just at a huge shift of people waking up, our own humanity just waking up. And
I think it's to teach people. I mean, I keep saying that. I'm like, people need to learn. It's like maybe this is a learning experience,
And if you think about, I'm kind of a dork, but if back when I was a kid, in order to be like an EMT or a firefighter, you had to go through like trauma videos. You had to become desensitized to it. There were, these pockets of where you had to kind of experience trauma. And now, you pick up your phone and we can watch anything. People getting blown up and hit by cars, and there's no desensitizing, I mean, I grew up, I remember I was in the 6th grade when the Challenger shuttle blew up. Yeah. And we just sat there and watched these, the teacher die, and the teachers are crying. There was no counselor there. We all just picked up about our day. And I mean, I remember being just rocked and inconsolable, but we're not meant to see this much.
Yeah, they made us all go outside immediately to the field because we were watching it on TV.
That. Yeah. We just sat there and
because I was in 4th grade at the time, and we're like, and obviously they told everyone, they're like, yeah, Krista McCullough, she's a teacher.
It was huge. Yeah.
And we're like, it happened, and they're kind of like rushing us out the classroom. They're like, everybody go out to the field, soccer field, whatever they called it.
Well,
they're like, everyone go out there.
I was in 7th grade. I was in Manchester, New Hampshire, which is maybe 15 miles from Concord, where she was a teacher. And so with us, when it happened, I mean, I remember being shell shocked, but they just sent us home.
Oh, we didn't get that. We just went to the next class.
I watched 9/11 happen on live TV in 8th grade, and literally saw when the second plane hit, and that moment of juxtaposition of knowing that this was not an accident, that this was something very much bigger and more nefarious.
And it couldn't be real.
Like,
you had
really heavy, and none of us knew what the World Trade Centers were really, or the implications of any of it, but we watched people on live TV jumping to their deaths from these buildings, getting hit by planes.
And I remember driving.
They didn't try to keep us from it though. We literally fixated on every class, like watching the news all day, and then the teachers were trying to kind of like help us understand and everything.
I wrote a piece recently about that I missed the flag from 2001 because I remember being on the 405 freeway, and it was when those, like, the car flags just first started coming popular, and like the entire freeway both ways was just American flags. And I remember sitting just crying, feeling comfort, feeling like I wasn't alone in this fear. If I was sitting on a freeway surrounded by American flags, I'd be in a fetal position right now, because when I see the flag, it is a completely different feeling. That if a truck comes up covered in flags, I'm scared. I'm scared of my own flag. And
at the same time, I feel like maybe you felt comfort because you were white. So I grew up in the Bible Belt, lots of racism going on. And if you were brown, you did not feel comfortable.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
That time.
We villainized an entire belief system.
If you were like Middle Eastern.
No, my boss was Indian at the time, and he was
just crazy, the
terrified.
different perception.
Absolutely.
But that's a great point. Is right after 9/11, I don't know how we went, and
How far
in less than 20 years, how we went from how we were this community, and if somebody cut you off in traffic, something that happens now, there was no road rage. You're like, hey, no, you go first. And everybody was too nice to each other.
Now we're shooting each other. And
now they kill people in road rage incidents. I mean, it happened recently here. Like
you had that
the
Chase
old man
one coming, didn't you? Like I stalked you guys on the Facebook pages from Flagstaff, so I watched all the crimes.
We had a big car chase that went up and down.
And the road rage thing though was like the day after.
Yeah,
it was like a day or two after the car chase. The guy didn't
die in that one, I don't think, but it was two like 70-year-olds.
Yes,
basically
two like senior citizens, and one of them. I don't think he killed the other person, but definitely shot him. And you're like, what? Over a traffic issue? Like, what is going on? Like, can't you just flip him off and go on your way and call him names in your car and go on your way?
And not ruin your life, their life. Exactly.
Right?
So.
Yeah.
And that's, to answer your question about how do you keep positive? And every time I start to get in this, I have to bring it back to what I have in my life, which is amazing people, amazing, kind-hearted, loving people that are out there just continuing to do the work. And I have to just keep my focus there and lean into them. That's all we've got right now, even
most Trump supporters, you talk to them one-on-one, they're concerned about the same thing. They want the best for their family, for their friends, and something about what happens here in Kingman that, if we lose a couple of younger people here in Kingman, whether it be car accidents or whatever, the community really pulls together. And we're not talking about who you voted for or anything like that. We just come together for each other.
It's above all of that. Exactly. I was very affected because I taught here when the bus accident happened for the FBLA students. And I was so upset. Both of my children were in FBLA and have made that trip on that bus. And so I was really affected. But one of the things, and I saw the same thing in 2020, is this community just puts it all down. And it was, does anybody need a ride to Tucson? You call me, you message me, I'll take you there. Any parents can't get there. And it was just this outpouring of love. And the same thing with 2020, if you can't get out, I'll bring you sandwiches. And so it's there. It's masked in all of the outside stuff. But, at the bottom of it, below the blues and the reds and stuff, we're human and we're parents and we're siblings, and we just don't want to have to do this anymore. That's where I'm at.
I just thought of something. The time from when, the space shuttle thing to 9/11 to
our own
now,
divinity shows up in crises.
I think it might be the internet, you guys. It's social media is definitely what is probably ruining the majority of stuff, is like,
I think it's changing. I geek out on this all the time because the internet, what we have done is now it has given us a method to pseudo communicate and pseudo meet each other. But yet when you're meeting someone on the online, you have to develop an identity because who are you going to project yourself as your online persona? So it changes the way we have to identify ourselves. If I walked up to you and go, oh my God, do you have a Band-Aid or do you have a tampon? Like, there's just a humanity there that it wouldn't matter who you voted for.
Yeah, you would give somebody that.
Exactly.
But it's like with the internet, people are like,
we have to identify ourselves by these
they're
labels.
more judgmental with the internet. Like they're more judging people. Well, I don't know if I can help you. Wait, first let me read your bio.
Right.
To see if I even like you.
Right. But yet if I would have walked up to you and said, hey, do you need help? I'm not going to say, well, wait a minute. Who'd you vote for? You know, that's just not what we're here for. No.
Right.
Believe that.
Yeah.
So, hey there. Love the boots.
I mean, social media's gotten so, I don't know how it affects people, but I have a family member that's transgender.
I just started
and someone close to them posted an anti-transgender meme. And it's just like, why would you do that?
Yeah, you don't know when you're going to create a memory. You don't know when you're going to make an impact in somebody. And often it's someone that you love or care about deeply. And in fact, a couple years ago when I posted a letter to the protesters that were at the park across it, I knew I was going to get flack. I knew I was going to get a lot of negative comments. But even then I was not prepared for how vicious and angry and ugly it was. And, you know, it just, we deserve better. We need better as people. We need to do better.
I don't think that comes down to it. You need to put out a better message. And, you know, I don't know. I try not to confuse people on social media.
It's hard to not get sucked in, but it's such a tool of connection, but yet we use it like a newborn with an iPhone, you know, banging it around, causing destruction.
Right? It's an important thing, you know, trying to promote this, you know, you sort of need it.
Yeah.
You know? It's always lucky that she can just connect them at all.
She's amazing.
Thank you.
So what's next for Reality Redemption? What are you guys wanting to do next, or where are you going with this?
I mean, we've gotten, you know, a couple comedians on, nationally known comedians, and
the next event is basically the big protest too. I mean, we'll be going to that.
If you follow us on social media, we're in a little bit of trouble there on both sides.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything before then except for just our weeklies.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll see you at Pride in the Pines on the 21st. So that's
okay. The 21st of June?
The 21st of June, yep. And it's from 10 to 7. The parade, is going to be, I think that one starts at 9. Yeah. And so, this year it'll be a little easier. Last year we had the First Lady show up. And so it was, everyone's expecting to just have their normal garb, and then here's the Secret Service and no metal water bottles, no tools, no anything. And it was insane.
That would be pretty cool though.
Yeah, it was cool to have her there, but we weren't even allowed to get back into the hug booth until about an hour after the festival started. And some of my thank you. I have one of those as well.
Anybody? No?
Thank you.
I'll do it.
Oh, you do? Okay. It makes me so happy.
No. They're so cool. I love that too.
I can't see what I'm doing.
It looks beautiful. Yeah.
Got it.
It looks like, that was great. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow. That's like, wow, that looks really good. Yeah. You did a good job, Kat.
Easy peasy.
Couldn't see it.
This is where we're doing like video on the podcasting because everybody missed what they said.
How to put your makeup on even without a mirror.
Yeah, right.
Okay, how about your podcast? Are you still doing that?
You know, I am still doing it. I took a bit of a pause because, the direction that I am going in, that I need to go in is much more political and much more confrontational than I was really comfortable to do. And so it got me, I got scared. I really got scared of getting the messages out there and getting my word out there because, I'm gonna put myself in the line of fire.
although from experience, we felt the same way, and we thought that Harris would have won.
That's what got cramped.
Tone away from the politics and stuff like that. And what's going on is going on. And it sort of amped us up more, and the more anger that we had, more frustration. But that has kind of led to some really good things for the podcast, having some national people on.
And having the conversations that need to be had. So I am so thankful you guys are here and bringing the voice of silly and the voice of reason and entertaining. So.
Well, it's great to see you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's always good to see you.
So yes,
hopefully
we'll make this
schedules work out. We can see up in Flagstaff in a few weeks.
I would love that. I would love that. Anytime you guys come down, let me know. We'll go get lunch or.
Well, we'll say, give a plug for a free mom hug.
Oh yes, and free mom hugs. We are an advocacy group. Started by a mom that just wanted to be able to spread love and show that if your family doesn't support you, we have an army of moms and dads and allies and brothers and sisters who just show up to show love. And we don't sell anything. We just give hugs away. And it's just an incredible experience and an incredible organization that I will be doing until I grow up, which is, not going to happen anytime soon.
Never. Yeah. Never growing up. So you'll always be doing it.
Exactly.
I mean, snow's over here just like Tinkerbell.
I only adult when it's necessary. It's it.
Yeah.
The rest of the time
when it's absolutely necessary. Oh my gosh.
It's overrated. I recommend.
Way overrated.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming on again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Happy Pride, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you. And I gotta get my mom hug.
Absolutely.
Okay. We got Chris on.
Hello.
Chris, it's been a while.
What's up? Hey.
How you been?
I'm in town here now. What's going on, guys?
It's been a long while.
It's been quite a couple years.
Yeah. Remember last time I was at her place, we sat around the table and had a 2-hour conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Good conversation too. That's the cool part about it. Yeah. It flows.
Yeah. We've been doing this for like 5 years now.
Yeah. And we like to just talk with our friends.
Yeah.
That's what it's in, just therapy, basically.
The reality, it's in reality depthing.
Yeah. You know what? I think it's been so long, and this is something I might give them more praise for. You've been sober for how long now?
900 and... I keep track, but I keep track. Same time. I already kind of know now. And the thing is I don't have this craving at all.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's kind of after relaxed. After we had, I came back living here, started my life kind of over. I see it kind of like that. Refreshed, a new lease on life. I just wanted to get into support role in behavioral health and just help people. It all just comes down to even more darn kindness.
Yeah.
And it's like 908 days.
Well, congratulations.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's impressive.
What is that? 2.49 years.
Yeah.
All right.
And so the temptation went away. It's like you abstain for something, don't do it for so long, and then you don't have a craving as much.
Right.
Because you stop, drink stop. And then you get to that point where you're like, this isn't working. Then just a matter of steps where you should be more aware, admit that you have a problem if you're drinking. It's hard, I know, but support is good with friends. So anyhow, I just got back my life. I feel been here 9 years and still adjusting at some point, but I like the hometown feel.
Yeah.
Especially events like this.
Yeah. I mean, it's my friend Christopher, we were just talking about how it is here, how this scene is here. I mean, like an older aspect, someone older in the community that comes from, I've been wanting to have someone that's a cool person to talk to that's kind of my age or whatever, 52, about life. Experiences, like just connecting.
Yeah.
Just yesterday on some of the groups online, there was so much support and people helping each other. And then you have just the opposite in those groups. And I'm like, they don't help, they bring you down. But I just see people helping. Someone asked for a need. She had kind human being helping them. Say thank you to those people.
Right.
You know, they're doing good. And then just keep doing it. Repetition and routines help a lot. And then, you know, getting your toolbox of tools to help your, you know, whatever you're going through, you know, could be life stuff, could be mental health, physical. It's something to keep up with those appointments too, because some of us are not getting any older, but,
What was that? Another cup there.
yeah, so, like personally, I feel like I'm sometimes getting comfortable in town. That, you know, all we can do is just try our best. We may fail. We learn from our mistakes. As for like the toolbox that I used to help people with, you know, and guide them, start a plan with them. You know, if you're a friend, maybe sit down and talk about a plan for what maybe you can do and be very expressive when you are seeing someone that's potentially going to help you. Be open and honest and don't hide those feelings.
Yeah.
Okay?
That seems to be the running theme today. You know, people that we talk to.
Helping. Yeah, be there. Be there for people, right?
It's
support systems.
yeah. It is cool.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're really proud.
Thank you.
Of you and, you know, I know it's been a long journey.
Yeah, that is an awesome accomplishment.
It doesn't feel like I've, you know, been here that long sometimes. I don't realize, like, you know, well, that was such a different life for me, and now I'm here, and I have a hard time, accepting that I'm doing good for myself, if that makes sense.
Right.
You know, I'm like, well, I'm really doing, yes, you're actually doing good.
That's why you also need good friends around you to tell you, yeah, you're doing good.
I'm like, I question, why are they saying that? But not that bad.
You know, I know our friend Shelly, she's really good at being a support system for you and being like, hey, you're doing great.
Oh my gosh, she is awesome. Yeah. Anything I post that's she knows me about, like personal, aside from anything else, she'll like interact with it. She's like, I remember that. And, you know, I remember I took her to Bullhead City party, a Spirit Halloween, many years ago for her son to get a present or something like there. So that's where we first kind of met. I think she reached out and she was like, I think I need someone to help me. Like, does anyone want to take me there for this? I think that's the way it worked. And I said, yeah, I'll do it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love Shelly. She's awesome.
Oh my, I like her videos. She's so hilarious.
I know. Her makeup is so cool.
I don't know. Too. Do that herself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how long
she's a freaking artist.
Takes a lot of pride what she does.
Yeah.
But what's nice about a smaller town here, you see a lot of people that are expanding, like, you know, groups of people are getting together small. I met with, a few people, at one of the tattoo places. Same thing. We just sat there and talked about life. And that's all it was.
Yeah.
And it was just a thing we did. We all talked to each other. I barely knew some of them, but I met and I was like, I felt very comfortable. Otherwise, the social anxiety I have is sometimes out of control. But I just have to tell myself, I'm okay. I'm doing good. I have to do pump me up a little,
yeah,
hey,
you're gonna be fine.
You're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
It's that what if
I
part.
have to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, what if
why I like what you do on social media is if you see somebody in town on one of the town pages, you always said, hey, that's really cool that you did that. That's a really nice thing that you did there.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
You know, giving that a little affirmation.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, it doesn't help. It doesn't hurt. I mean, someone friended me yesterday because of one of the groups. She was like, you're so like-minded with me. I just think you're amazing. I go, what did I do? It's like, she just went on, she kind of give me a reaffirmation of what I've accomplished in a second. You know, it was kind of nice. So
yeah,
it was,
that's cool.
I think it was about my car trying to get broken into 2 nights ago. I just took the handle off and now I have to go through the back to get in. But, I posted that and people were like, that happened to me. And this person said that happened to me and that window was smashed and that. I'm like, wow, this sounds really neat to have a better look on the theft in me.
Yeah, because it sounds like repetitive. It sounds like if a bunch of people, it's like a serial
I think you need more things for
Carjacker.
kids to do around here also.
Right?
Yeah. And I'm not a parent. There will be probably, but this is really, okay. So maybe when the home life isn't all that great, I could expect someone to just
Yeah.
possibly, you know, to get other stuff to deal with. Maybe that someone in a better household with
Yeah.
worries and things like that. So they take on, kids can take on a lot because they're reflections of their parents. You know?
Oh yeah.
We're trying to learn their
Especially on
identity.
social media, if you see their parents bullying people around, you know,
Yeah.
it probably can rub off on them.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, Snow, I think we're going to wrap this up in Mohave Pride this year. They cut it down to one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this actually kind of works the way we've been just running around like this and seeking people out like Chris to talk to.
Yeah, it was more, I thought it was fun doing it this way, walking around and talking to
Well, you
people.
have the ability. You got to enjoy it more this year.
Yeah, we get to like be more free, you know?
All right. So on that note, we'll talk to you next time.
Get a picture.
Yeah.
Hey. All right. Picture. I'm going to do this live on the podcast. All right.
No. It always turns out weird. Huh?
I'm like about to follow her.
I know.
All right.
These grass.
Well, thank you, Chris.
Yeah,
I'm
thank you,
looking over
Chris.
there.
Yeah. And if you ever want to come on again, you know, we'll have you on and we'll have a long form.
Yeah, you're always welcome.
Yeah, I
And
know.
congrats again on your
you.
accomplishment. That's amazing.
All right. That's great. Hey, thanks so much for letting me talk.
Hey.
All right, Snow, you ready to?
Yep. Bye, y'all.
All right, bye, y'all.